Take a look at this, guys. Oh my God. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is TheJackSilkstone and welcome back to yet another Universal Studios Great Britain construction update. I'm currently stood on what is now confirmed to be the site of Universal Studios in Great Britain. That's right, what a crazy past few weeks we have had. I don't know if it's the British in some of our heads, but collectively, I think there's always just been a, this is too good to be true. We've been through this before. We had the London Resort. We've had Universal try and come over here decades ago, but it's happening. The most exciting theme park project, probably in all of our lifetimes, is happening right where I'm stood on this ground in Bedford. As you can see, since I was last here, they've put up loads more fences. Just to confirm, I am on a public footpath. It still does run through the land. I'm going to make the most of this public footpath up until it gets closed off, because at some point, of course, it will be closed off so that this super exciting construction project can begin. But yeah, I have got some really exciting things to show you today here in Bedford. Some perhaps early signs of construction, as well as all of these fences that have gone up in some very interesting places around the site. I'm currently filming my documentary on Hyperia, the UK's tallest roller coaster, which I spent, what, 2 or 3 years on the construction site itself, documenting it being built. And during those interviews for this documentary, a lot of people say, it was actually really sad when that project came to an end, because we've had all this fun documenting it and on this construction site, and then it's just open. If you guys have been watching this channel for a while, I felt so lost once Hyperia opened. Honestly, I had the time of my life filming these updates. They've given me a bit of purpose, if I'm honest. But now standing here in Bedford, knowing we are at the very start of a project that is happening, wow, what an exciting few years we've got coming up. So yeah, be sure to subscribe, look into the channel, and I'm gonna go for a little walk around the future site of Universal Studios, Great Britain. Come on! So the field where the public footpath that I'm currently walking on runs, in the plans that Universal submitted, is where the theme park resort itself will be. So who's to say one day I could be stood in the exact spot where the Back to the Future area could be. How exciting is that? But yeah, some of you may have seen my speculation and dive into the concept art that Universal released. Now I must admit, I filmed that video at about 4 AM or something crazy like that. There are certain IPs that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't even think about. And then literally the day after I filmed it, whilst I was editing that video, the BBC came out and like confirmed loads of IPs via like a leaker. In my opinion, that is a brilliant leak from the BBC, but I'm not taking that as like 100% confirmation that those IPs that they said are locked in place. Until Universal themselves come out and reveal what IPs they've got, I'm always going to be a little tiny bit skeptical. However, it is always fun to speculate, isn't it? And yeah, I spoke about a Shrek area. Sorry, I'm very aware that I'm very much in a shadow. I'm just going to spin the camera around so the lighting's a little bit better. So yeah, I spoke about a Shrek area in that concept art, and it very much does look like a Shrek area. However, as a lot of people on Twitter said, they very much could have done that to hide the actual IP that's coming to that area. And the big rumoured one for that particular area that I spoke about is Lord of the Rings. How mad would a Lord of the Rings area be? Obviously, one major film franchise that wasn't on that concept art was Harry Potter. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get Harry Potter at Universal Studios Great Britain, and instead we get this amazing first of its kind Lord of the Rings area. So yeah, that was the main one that I kicked myself for not talking about. So I promised myself in my next update that I filmed, I'd talk about that one. But yeah, there's going to be loads more videos from me looking into this concept art as we get more news. But yeah, that BBC article was definitely interesting, saying that we had James Bond confirmed, Paddington confirmed, Jurassic World confirmed, Minions confirmed. Last thing that I wanted to talk about is something that's very close to my heart. And this was something that a lot of people thought was recent news, but this is old news for a lot of us theme park enthusiasts here in the UK. Universal have trademarked Halloween Horror Nights here in the United Kingdom. As I said, this trademark came in years ago, but someone obviously found it recently and re-uploaded it to Twitter. But yeah, that is just the best news ever. I'm a massive HHN fan. I go every single year over to Orlando for the opening weekend of HHN. So the fact that one day we could have HHN here in the United Kingdom is so exciting. And yeah, that is some of the best news about Universal coming to this country. Halloween Horror Nights is, in my opinion, the best Halloween event in the world. I mean, here in the UK, you've got some brilliant Halloween events. I love Fright Nights, as you guys know. There are so many unique, standalone, family-run scare events here in the UK, but yeah, when Universal bring HHN here, oh my God, they're gonna blow everyone's socks off. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get HHN Great Britain, that sounds crazy to say, in the first year that the park opens in 2031. I think they'd probably try and get the theme park up running first before putting on this huge event. So I wouldn't be surprised if our first HHN in this country was 2032. I could be wrong, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that is ridiculously exciting. The fact that so many of you guys here in this country will get to experience HHN. Oh my God. Now, I must admit, when those fences first went up around the field, I did think it's a little bit strange because there is, as I've mentioned many times, still a public footpath that goes through this area. However, as I mentioned in that intro, we have had loads more fencing now put up. And yeah, in this shot, it might look a little bit weird. It just looks like there's this, what, like 4 random fences put together. It's not really stopping you from going around it. However, these fences are all positioned on the public footpath. So it's obviously just a way to kind of make sure people are respectfully keeping to the public footpath. So yeah, if I flip the camera around, then as you can see, we've got another one here. So it's almost saying, it's not like they've put fences up all along where the public footpath is. Who knows, maybe they will do soon. But yeah, it's almost like a little guide to make sure people are respectfully keeping to this track. If I cross this cool little bridge here, and as you can see, we've got another one over here. But yeah, this kind of just shows that when we were saying about them putting up these fences when they first went up, it was like, do they know something that we don't? Is this pretty much confirmation that this project is going ahead? And now that the project has been confirmed, to me it seems like, yeah, we were right. They did very much know that the project was going to go ahead, so they got a head start and started putting those fences up. But yeah, I don't know when this public footpath is going to be closed off, because obviously at some point it will, and at that point you're not going to be able to go on this site, which is completely fine. But whilst the public footpath is here, I'll best believe I'm going to continue walking over it, because it is so cool to be on this land. So I've been walking for what genuinely feels like an eternity around the perimeter of the site. I know some people's reaction to seeing the concept art was, oh, it looks a little bit small, but best believe the amount of land they've got here and the scale that this park is going to be at, believe me, it's not going to be small once you step inside of Universal Studios in Great Britain. But yeah, I've now come to a very interesting area. Let me just pan the camera around so I can show you what I'm talking about. Take a look at this, guys. Oh my God. Now, I know, this looks so exciting. Like, there's a digger. Diggers are full construction. However, the reason I even found this spot is because this was on Google Maps. So I don't think this has got anything to do with Universal Studios Great Britain. It's obviously been here for years and years. However, in the actual field that Universal own, there is a very similar digger, and that one is a lot more exciting because that's there for a reason. Like, that is doing some kind of work on Universal's field. And yeah, I know in the documents that Universal recently put out, they said that construction won't be starting until 2026. I'm not too sure about that. Yeah, as they said, I imagine the big construction will be starting in 26, but I can't see them leaving this entire area completely just untouched for a whole year. Yeah, they have loads of like planning documents and applications to go through. But yeah, now that this thing has been like announced and it's out there in the world, I can see them starting to do little bits of work throughout 2025. Like, they're gonna have to put a whole site compound in, they're gonna start getting deliveries. I see absolutely no world where there's just no construction at all in 2025, even if it's minor stuff, kind of the very start of groundworks. And as I said, putting in site facilities, toilets, offices, all of that. I can very much see all of this taking place throughout this year. So yeah, don't worry, I'm not gonna rinse these updates and come and film absolutely nothing, but as stuff does start to happen, best believe I'll be coming to Bedford very, very often to keep you guys up to date. For the first time, I've just walked pretty much the entire perimeter of, well, not even all of the land that Universal own. That is how much space they have. Like, I've been walking for a good 45 minutes, if not an hour, just around the kind of fields where the main theme park is going to be. Not even like the fields that they also own for deliveries and construction, kind of traffic and all of that. Like, the amount of land they have is just unfathomable. But yeah, as part of my long walk, for the first time I've kind of gone into like the new estates here in Stuartby. Honestly, it's such a lovely area. I have to admit, I think I'll 100% be looking to buy a house here over the next few years so that I'm as close as I can be to Universal Studios Great Britain. But yeah, that would very much help with these updates, wouldn't it, being a bit more local. But I really like the area. I found the local Domino's, so that's good news. I'm very excited to find the local Wetherspoons because yeah, I'm going to be spending so much time in this area over the next 6 years, and yeah, I can absolutely see myself buying a house up here because it is such an exciting place to be. But yeah, with this beautiful sunset behind me, that does bring me to the end of yet another Universal Studios Great Britain construction update. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to be filming the entire process of this theme park being built, just like so many other amazing channels here in the UK. So yeah, be sure to subscribe and lock in for the next 6 years of exciting content. And yeah, otherwise, thank you all so much for watching today's video. My name is Jack Silkstone. Goodbye.